Former President Donald Trump is taking the loss of former Representative George Santos's seat in New York personally. Posting on
Truth Essential.
He tore into the candidate Mazi Melesa Pilip personally after her defeat to Democrat Tom Suozzi. He writes, "Republicans just don't learn, but maybe she was still a Democrat." Now, that was a reference to her former status as a registered Democrat until 2012. So it's been a while, okay? Now, he also then blamed her for being foolish and not endorsing him, writing in all caps, "I want to be loved." Well, that's a weird thing to say. I mean, yes, it is Valentine's Day, but seriously? I want to be loved. He just wants to be loved, folks. That's all. Okay? Let me give you the full statement in context, because it's no less unhinged when you read the whole thing. "I have an almost 99% endorsement success rate in primaries and a very good number in the general elections as well." Not the last one. "But just watched this very foolish woman, Mazi Melesa Pilip, running in a race where she didn't endorse me and tried to straddle the fence." How dare you straddle the fence? "When she would have easily won if she understood anything about modern day politics in America." Now, he then switched to full caps mode. Okay, caps lock, cruise control for cool. "MAGA, which is most of the Republican Party, stayed home, and it always will, unless it is treated with the respect that it deserves. I stayed out of the race. I want to be loved. Give us a real candidate in the district for November. Suozzi, I know him well, can easily be beaten." Again, totally unhinged. Okay, but once again, he's going to argue he's a very stable genius. All right. Okay. Now, that said, I want to talk about Suozzi for a second. All right. I really hope that Suozzi can be beaten by a left-wing challenger. All right. Probably unlikely, due to that being the suburbs. Okay. Let's be fair. But that said, Suozzi had previously represented New York's 3rd District between 2017 and 2022. He then tried to unsuccessfully run for governor of New York. He is a centrist establishment Democrat who took political advantage of Republicans taking their own immigration bill, which I guess, it's really smart, okay? Saying that, oh, yeah, well, you think Republicans care about immigration? I care about immigration. They take their own bill. All right. Now, Suozzi is also a huge supporter of Israel's response to October 7th, which has caused the deaths of more than 28,000 Palestinians in Gaza, which is just a mind-blowing number of it's just thinking of the amount of human tragedy it's hard to imagine that. It really is. It's horrible. Now, that said, getting to Suozzi's opponent, she was also a huge supporter of Israel. She literally served in the IDF. Okay, so on that issue, there was no difference in this race between those two on that issue. So if you cared about that issue, you lost on both. Okay, so now on other issues, Suozzi voted with President Joe Biden's stated position 100% of the time in the 117th Congress. So there's that. So if you care about other issues, if you're with Biden on everything else, or with Biden on everything, then yeah, you got the candidates that you wanted. Great. Now, getting back to Trump, though, he took this pretty personally when he didn't endorse anyone in this race. He didn't endorse this person. He even said, "I stayed out of the race." Now, why is that? This was again George Santos' seat. It was kind of necessary to making sure that Republicans keep their majority now. Now, they still have the majority in the House, but again, that margin just keeps getting thinner and thinner and thinner. Okay, so votes are getting tighter and tighter and tighter unless there's some sort of, effort for bipartisanship, which seems very, very unlikely when it comes to Republicans. But anyway, why did he stay out? Well, an advisor to Trump told CNN correspondent Kristen Holmes that they were being very careful about who they endorse. Very, very careful. And only lending to races that they believe are winnable. Okay. So now, here's the thing. She said that she would support Trump if he becomes the nominee. Quote, we have great candidates right now. Trump is one of them. We'll wait and see how whoever the nominee is, we'll support him all the way. So she also said, regarding the multiple indictments, Trump has to go through his process and no one's above the law. So I think it's been shown that she is insufficiently loyal to Donald Trump for his tastes. And so, of course, if you don't show loyalty and fealty, absolute loyalty and fealty to Donald Trump in his stated positions, then, well, he's not going to show any to you. And that's what happened here. So there it is. That loyalty, however, to Donald Trump is exactly why a lot of Republican candidates are losing in their general elections and their special elections. Again, he can say, well, yeah, I've got a really good record on primaries. Okay, fine, but general is where it tends to count the most. And for general elections, the Republicans have not been doing very well, at least the Trump-backed ones.